the world really wants to talk about right now, and that's the LA Chargers. What the chat wants to talk about right now are the Los Angeles Chargers. And guys, the first game of the Super Wild Card Weekend will feature the Los Angeles Chargers versus the Houston Texans. As of right now, the LA Chargers guys are 11-6 on the season, while the Texans are 10-7. The Chargers are currently on a 3-game winning streak. They have win over the Denver Broncos, the New England Patriots, and those Las Vegas Raiders, Jim. And in those 3 wins, they have not scored less than 34 points in each of those 3 games. As of right now, guys, the Chargers are favored by 3.5 points in this game versus the Houston Texans, depending on what betting site that you look at. But what if the Chargers lose this game? If the Chargers lose this game that they are favored in, will this season be considered a bust? Is this a bust of a season if they lose to the 4 seed to the Houston Texans in this playoffs? So, guys, I want to preface this by all season long, I kind of feel like the LA Chargers have been kind of underhyped. When you look at the LA Chargers, they have 11 wins this season, right? Yes, they were not glory wins. They were not blowout wins. They were not putting up massive offensive numbers, but they won a lot of football games. In a normal season, 11 wins might win you the AFC West. Let's just call it a spade a spade. And if you want to flashback even further, in 2023, they were a 5-win team. This 2024 LA Chargers team was 100% rebuild. This was a rebuild season. Mike Williams, gone. Keenan Allen, gone. Brandon Staley, fired. Cam Akers, gone. They were in a complete rebuild. Insert coach Harbaugh. Insert J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, and one of the youngest wide receiving corps in the NFL. On the other hand, though, guys, the LA Chargers, they've only beaten one playoff team so far this season. They've only beaten one playoff team so far this season. Yes, they have 2 playoff wins versus the one team in the Denver Broncos. They beat the Denver Broncos twice so far this season. On the other hand, guys, the Chargers have had the second easiest schedule in the 2024 NFL season. So how many of those 11 wins were actually good wins? Because when you look at their schedule, it's nothing like, really? When we were doing the power rankings, right, the biggest drawback from the Chargers for me was, yeah, they are 8 wins, 9 wins, 11 wins, but who had they played? Right? Outside of their division opponents, the Chiefs, the Broncos, and the Raiders, they played the Panthers. They played the Cardinals. They played the Saints. They played the Browns. They played the Titans. They played the Falcons, which barely beat the Falcons, by the way. Barely beat the Falcons, but a win's a win. And then they played the New England Patriots. So they are not dangerous by any stretch of the imagination in the playoffs. They are what? 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're 1 and 5 versus playoff teams. Lost to the Kansas City Chiefs twice. Lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lost to the Ravens. Lost to the Buccaneers. And I see your comment, Richard. Any given Sunday. I get it. But guys, if the Chargers lose this game in which they're favored in to beat the Houston Texans, will the season be considered a bust? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say it's not going to be considered a bust because of the 5 wins that they had previously. They still won 11 games, right? You just play who is in front of you, right? It's not their fault that the Raiders suck. It's not their fault that the Patriots suck. It's not their fault that the Falcons suck and the Titans suck and the Browns suck and the Bengals suck and the Cardinals suck. The Panthers suck. It's not their fault. They still have 11 wins. So this season is not a bust. Win, lose, or draw on Saturday afternoon, 4 p.m. here on the East Coast time. Win, lose, or draw. This season is not a bust. I understand people are like, oh, Super Bowl or bust, Super Bowl or bust. Nah, slow it down, baby. Slow it down. You are in a complete rebuild. Let's just be honest. You are in a complete rebuild. And many people are picking you to beat the Houston Texans. I want to pump those brakes a little bit. Pump the brakes a little bit. We'll be talking about it. But pump it up. Pump it up. What do you guys think? If the Chargers lose to the Texans in the playoffs, is this season considered a bust? Yes or no? Yes or no? Richard says bolt up, baby. Bolt up, bolt up, bolt up. And Jim says, are they really the LA Chargers? I mean, like, really, are they the LA Chargers? I mean, they rent a home, so they are a team with no city. So can we really call them the LA Chargers since they don't have a home field? I don't know. Jim, you might be on something. I don't want to. Now, I'm not going to make that joke, but maybe they'll move back to San Diego. And James says the Chargers will win. Cut, simple, to the point. Chargers are going to win. This isn't even a conversation now that we need to have, says James. James says, yeah, you can think about that. You can think about what if they lose as a season like a bust, but they're going to win, baby. He says, slow it down. They're going to win. Jim Powell, the homeless Chargers. And Drew says, a W is a W. True. A win's a win, especially in the NFL. And Rob says, Allah, who do you think? Who do I think is going to win this game? I think the Houston Texans are going to win this game. I think the Houston Texans find their defense, they find it back, and they win the game. I think many people have counted the Houston Texans out, so they just slow it down. And Alpha Rob said the Chargers should be beating a slumping Texans team. A Houston Texans team. They should. But it's the playoffs. We all know what happens to the Chargers in the playoffs, right? Is 28-0 too soon? Too soon? Jim Powell says, and they can win all they want. They will have to give it all back to W's after Harbaugh gets caught. Oh, there's no cheating in the NFL, Jim. There's no cheating in the NFL. Rob Fay says, I'm from Minnesota, but I live in Cardsland in Arizona. Well, Rob, welcome to the show, man. We have yet another Minnesota Vikings fan here, as Laura is a Vikings fan as well. And there's Suzanne, and there's several other Vikings fans that are normally regulars here. So welcome to the show, Rob. Welcome to the show. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, man. We're here every Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. East Coast time. And Richard says 11 wins, and it's still a rebuild, baby. Hey, Richard, I'm not calling your season a bust. 11 wins is still 11 wins. You are correct. 11 wins is 11 wins. Let's go. Let's go. And Richard also says, yes, but remember, it's any given Sunday. Correct. Vikings game is Monday versus LA. And Rob, it's at Arizona. At Phoenix, I believe it's at Arizona Cardinal Stadium, more than likely. JM's back in the chat today. What's up, JM? He said the Chargers had a decent roster, just bad coaching. And honestly, JM, the last 10 years, the Chargers have been, every year you see the roster like, damn, Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, what, Cam Akers, like what? Or sorry, Austin Eckler. I said Cam Akers. I meant Austin Eckler, right? Like, damn, like, okay, you got Bosa, you got Matt, like, okay, but then every year you're right. Brandon Staley was shit the bed. One of the worst coaches in the NFL. How did he keep a job so long? I don't know. I don't know. Somebody come get this man a beer. I don't know. Stanley was horrendous. You are correct, JM. Stanley was the worst fourth quarter coach I've ever seen in my life. Poor clock management, poor play calling, just lack of football IQ when it comes to nut crunch time. Drew says, I'm not judging any team. Once the playoff starts, the slate is wiped clean and each team starts at 0-0. Drew, you are right to an extent, as every team is 0-0. As my man Richard Lopez does say, any given Sunday. You can say the playoffs is a different animal. But in the back of your mind, Drew, I know I've lost 4 games in a row. I know I'm playing bad football. Preparing for another week is not going to just preparing for the playoffs and like another week. And this is not going to remember that I'm playing like ass right now. Chargers right now are playing good football. Texans are not. So, I mean, I get it. I'm not judging any team, says Drew. Once the playoffs state, the slates are white clean. They are white clean. Everybody's 0-0. Win and go home. It's simple. It's simple as that. But at the same time, still have to take the regular season into play. At the same time, just because the playoffs start don't mean all your players are exactly healthy. It doesn't mean you're healthy. Slow it down, baby. And Drew says it would not be a bust of a season. It would not. Derek says, who has the better backfield, the Chargers or the Texans? And I would say the Texans. I like me some Joe Mixon, right? As long as CJ Stroud can pass the ball a little bit, what they have Nico Collins, or not Nico Collins, because Nico Collins is like out. Stephon Diggs is out. As long as Tank Dell can do something, and Dalton Schultz can maybe do a little something, just get people out of the box, Joe Mixon is going to have a day. MK0066 Street says, my upset of the week is the Denver Broncos. You and everybody else. MK006s. Everybody wants to jump on that Denver Broncos bandwagon. Derek says, I'm thinking it comes down to an interception. CJ Stroud's been throwing a lot of those this season. Laura says, I'm kind of liking the Texans with a dub. Skull. Drew says, nobody expected them to be this successful, especially with the new coach. And Drew, you are exactly wrong. Everybody was jumping on the Chargers bandwagon this season. Everybody was. We got Justin Herbert. We got J.K. Dobbins. We got Gus Edwards. We got a run-happy offense. We got two bruisers in the backfield. Plus, we got one of the youngest wide receiver cores out there, Quentin Johnson, and we drafted Ladd McConkey, and then we drafted Joe Alt. People were high on the Chargers, John. Drew. You should have been here this summer, people. People were high on the Chargers. Me, not so much. I was like, slow it down. Slow it down. Right? You still got to battle with the Chiefs. Still got to battle with the Broncos. Slow it down. Slow it down. MK006 Street says, and the Green Bay Packers will beat the Philadelphia Eagles. Okay. Alpha Rob says, I don't get the Denver thing, people. 34-19 Buffalo Bills. Slow it down, baby, right? But guys, is this season, if the Chargers lose on Saturday, would it be considered a bust? I'm saying no. However, on the Texans,